guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie book fanatic, and today I'm going to do a video I'm really excited about. So this video today is going to be all about my fictional crushes from TV shows, and I have made a top 14 of fictional crushes which consists of 12 guys and 2 girls. So let's dive straight in, because otherwise this video is going to be very long, which it is probably going to be anyway. But I'm going to start with number 14 and go all the way down to number 1. So for number 14, I have chosen Matty from a TV show Awkward. Awkward is a TV show that is all about the main character named Jenna and her high school adventures, basically. Matty is Jenna's love interest all throughout the show, and Matty is, I'm going to be honest here, he's probably on number 14 because he's really hot. Like, Matty, I don't think I have seen another guy in my life that I thought was as hot as he is. He's basically a real guy, you know. With most of the guys in this list, they're basically the perfect guy and everything you could ever want, or they're really dark and brooding, you know what I mean, the type. But Matty is the real contemporary guy, the guy next door, apart from the perfect looks. But he makes mistakes, he is stupid sometimes, but he can be really sweet and kind and caring, and takes effort to make Jenna feel good. And he started out as a real arsehole, but he really moved up there, and that is why he's on number 14. Number 13, I have Brendan from Beverly Hills 90210, which is a really old show, and it's about a group of teenagers who all go to the same school, and they are all a group of friends and all the adventures they have. And when I first saw Brendan, when I first started watching the show and I saw Brendan, I was like, he is the most beautiful guy I have ever seen. Like, his eyes, his face, his everything. And then I looked him up, like the actor, when he's older, and I was like, he didn't turn out so great, did he? But Brennan is, for me, the definition of the perfect guy. Like, he's handsome, he's sweet, he stands up for what he thinks is right, and he has an opinion about everything. He knows what to say, he has ambition, he is motivated to do the things he wants to do, and that is basically everything I'm looking for in a guy. Like, he is the perfect guy, in my opinion. On number 12, I have Finn from My Mad Fat Diary, and if you haven't watched this show, you really have to. It's been cancelled now, I think, after 2 seasons. I think it's 3. But if you haven't watched it, please do. It's a lovely show. It's about Ray, and she is not the regular girl. She's a bit she has a bit more weight than the average girl, but it's all about her struggle with that and with being herself and loving herself. And she has been stuck in a depression for a really long time, and it's been really relatable for me, not with the weight issues, but with how she feels about herself and just coming to love yourself just the way you are. And Finn is Ray's love interest, and he is just wow. He's also hot, but he's so caring, and he doesn't care what Ray looks like. He just cares about her as a person and her personality, and oh my god, Finn. On number 11, I have, how can I not include him, Damon from The Vampire Diaries. If you've ever watched The Vampire Diaries, you know Damon is the dark, brooding guy, and I've loved Damon all throughout the show, but especially from the moment he was paired off with Elena. I shipped Stefan and Elena, but when Damon and Elena started hooking up, I was like, yeah, I can ship that. But the show has been going on for 7 seasons now, I believe, and I don't watch it as often anymore. I still watch it, but Elena is gone now, and it's just Damon. I don't know if I like him as much as I did before, but I still love him. How can I not? He's such a dark guy, and he means well, but he's so funny and sarcastic about it. On number 10, I have Lucas Scott from One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill was basically another show about a group of teenagers in a high school who are friends and have adventures. I really love those kind of shows. But I am on season 7, I think now, and Lucas is not in the show anymore. But I really loved him in the earlier seasons, and it's an old show, by the way, it's ended long ago, but he was so sweet. He is like the guy who writes poetry for you. I love that. He is sweet, kind, and obviously all of these characters are hot because looks are important to me as well. But yeah, he's just such a, he feels so much. Like, he's not the dark brooding type of guy. He is brooding, kind of. He's serious and grumpy, but he's still, he thinks and feels a lot. On number 9, I have Schmidt from New Girl. I have a huge crush on Schmidt. New Girl is about Jess, who is the new girl in an apartment where she lives with 3 guys, and she's their new roommate basically, and it's about how they get on with each other, and every episode is like 20 minutes of a new situation they have to deal with. But Schmidt is one of the roommates, and I love him. I love how he's so clean and everything has to be neat, and his humour and his quirkiness, and oh my god, I love him. He is great. He's an amazing character, and I can always laugh about him, like all of them, but Schmidt is up there. He's like so funny. Number 8, I have Elliot from Mr. Robot, and from the first episode I started watching Mr. Robot, I was like, this guy is so complex. He's really dark, and he's really introverted, and he's on drugs and everything like that, but still, I don't know, I have a bit of a crush on him, just because the way he thinks, and I can laugh about him, but he still means well. He has the best intentions, and I just think he's really cute. Then on number 7, I have the first girl, which is Eritrea from the new Shannara Chronicles. I adore Eritrea. Like, from the first time I've seen her, I loved her. Like, in the first episode, she was so amazing. And as episodes went on, there are 10 episodes out now. I haven't watched the last one, but I think something bad has happened to her, but I'm really afraid of that. But Eritrea, she sacrifices herself to save everyone, and she really gives up a lot to help her friends and be there for them, and just like, she gives up her kind of dad to help Amber Lee and Will, and to fulfill their destiny. Like, I think that's amazing. Like, Shannara Chronicles is a new TV show, and it's a fantasy TV show about Amber Lee, Will, and Eritrea who have to fulfill their destiny to save the Elkries, which is the tree that keeps all of the elves alive, I believe. And Eritrea is a human, Will is a half elf, and Amber Lee is a full elf. But if you haven't seen it, it's a really good show, and I really enjoy it. I haven't read the books, but I don't feel like I have to, because I enjoy the show so much. On number 6, I have a bit of a weird one, but I have Neve from Catfish on number 6, and it's a bit of a weird one because Neve is not a fictional character. He is himself in Catfish, but I have seen his film, and I have seen every single episode of Catfish, and I love Neve. I think he's so interested in the people he helps. Like, I love Max as well, but Neve is like my crush on that show. I don't know. He's handsome. He cares about the people he works with. He's really funny. He's always in for a laugh. He makes the show, along with Max, really funny. And like, there was one episode where there was a guy who wouldn't stop using his phone, and Neve was like, oh, can I see your phone? And he gave him his phone, and Neve threw his phone over the railing in the water. Like, he was so mad at this guy for looking at his phone and not talking to the person they brought along with them to meet this guy. And Catfish is a bit, by the way, about people who meet someone online and fall in love with them or are friends with them, but they have their suspicions about these people because they think they are not real people, or they really want to meet them, but these people keep making up excuses. And then Neve and Max with their television crew come and help these people meet their lovers or friends, and most of the time it turns out they are not the people who they said they were. Now, number 5 of my ultimate favourite girl character in the TV show, and that is Brooke Davis from One Tree Hill. Yes, another character from One Tree Hill, but Brooke Davis, wow, I can tell you so much about her. Like, I've loved her all throughout the show. I'm still on season 7, obviously. But wow, she's beautiful. She has come so far from the... I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but she was a really promiscuous teen, and she turned out into a beautiful businesswoman who takes her life seriously and has so many plans for her life and wants to do so much in life. And she's come so far from dating boys and having and being this really self-assured girl. But now she was really insecure inside, but now she's mature and adult. She really opens up about her feelings and insecurities, and she talks to people about them and doesn't pretend to be the popular girl who doesn't feel anything anymore. And I really admire that development in her and how she has bettered her life and just the things she has gone through. And she has stuck with her best friend for, like, when her best friend needed her, she was there for her. Like, yes, that's how it is supposed to be. On number 4, I have Cook from Skins. And Skins, I don't even know how to describe a TV show. It's such a weird TV show, but it's about teenagers in college or in high school. I don't know exactly, but every season has a different group of people, and they do really weird things. Actually, it's a really promiscuous show, I would like to say, because there's lots of sex in it, and graphic sex as well. But I loved Cook, and Cook is in the third season, and has a special 1 hour or longer, I don't know, episode in season 4, I believe. That's all centered around him. And that was really powerful, by the way. That episode was wow. The whole show has made me feel so much. Like, I get why some people wouldn't love this show, but I loved it so much. And Cook, I don't know why I love Cook so much. Like, he is a really bad-mannered guy, and he has a really big mouth, but he would do everything for his friends. Like, he sacrificed. Like, he liked this girl, and his best friend did too, and he gave her up so his best friend could be with this girl, and he still hung around them. Like, and it must have really hurt, and I really shipped them together, to be honest. But in the end, he was so selfless. And we're on to the top 3. On number 3, I have Francis from Rain. And if you know what happens in history to Francis, you know I was crushed during the show. But Rain is basically about these historical figures. Queen Mary from Scotland, and Prince Francis from France, and Queen Catherine, King Henry VIII, I believe, or the 7th, I think the 8th. And Francis, like, he is also one of the most beautiful creatures I have ever seen. But also, he is another perfect guy. Like, he has a kind heart, he's beautiful, he's well-mannered, has the best intentions. But as the show went along, I disliked him more and more. Like, he did some things I was really not a fan of, but I really liked him in the first and the second season. But the third, I was not as sure about him, but he is in my top three because I loved him so much during the first and second season. Like, I can't not put him on number three. On number two, I have Klaus from the originals, which is a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries. And I've seen Klaus, of course, first in the Vampire Diaries, and I fell in love with him then. He has, like, the weirdest way to show love. Like, he does these dark things, like kill people, and he does so many dark and wrong things, but his intentions again are so good. Like, he means so well. He wants to protect the people he loves, and he has been hurt one too many times. And I really liked him with Caroline in the Vampire Diaries. I still do, but then he left the Vampire Diaries and he got his own show, and I really only watched the originals because of Klaus. But I don't watch it that much anymore. I'm really behind, actually, because I can't put myself to watching it. But I really love Klaus, and I think I'm on an episode where Klaus wasn't in, actually, and I disliked that show. I disliked the show then. But I really like Klaus. He's so dark and brooding, and he does really dark things, but he means well. You know what I mean? Like, dark type. I just really like a dark type. And my number one is Bellamy from The 100th, which is another series based on the book series that I haven't read. But The 100th, the first 2 episodes, I wasn't sure about them the first time I watched them, but then after that the show became so addictive. Like, I couldn't stop watching. Like, the first 2 seasons were out and I just kept on watching them, and then I was in withdrawal. I was like, oh my god, I need this show in my life. How can I live on without this show in my life? But Bellamy, I really liked him in the first and second season. Now it's the 3rd season and I'm not that sure about him anymore. Like, he's changed sides and he became this dark type, and he isn't doing what is good for the group anymore. So I don't like him that much at this point in time. And I liked another character in the show a lot more. But I really loved him the first 2 seasons. Like, it's a show about teenagers, 100 teenagers who are convicts in the Ark up in space. They have to live in space because the Earth was kind of extinct. Like, everyone was dead, and 100 convicts, all under the age of 18, were sent to Earth. Bellamy was 23, I believe, but he came down because he posed as a guard, because he killed someone. So as he can pose as a god. But I really love Bellamy. Not necessarily in the first couple of episodes, like, he was the leader and he didn't do things that were good, but as the series went on, he became so much better, and his relationship with Clark, like his friendship, my heart. Like, I need them to be friends again. I need them to get there. Bellamy, get your act together, please. So this is my feels video, basically. This was my top 14 fictional crushes. Who are your fictional crushes? Who are your favorite fictional relationships, your OTPs? Tell me all about them. What are your favorite shows? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.